Hare Krishna. So, very warm welcome to you all to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class. These days, Chaturmas is going on, and in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th chapter, there's mention of Narada Muni's previous birth. Narada boy, during one of the Chaturmas, he had got an opportunity to serve some Bhakti Vedanta sadhus. And that service, as a result of that service, what happened? Uchishtale pananumodito dujai sakrisma bhunjai tadapasta kilvishaha evam pravrittasya vishuddha chetasas tadharma evatma ruchi prajayate. As a result of that service, those Bhakti Vedanta sadhus were very pleased. And they had blessed this Narada boy, which led to the perfection of his life. Somehow, today we don't have those Bhakti Vedanta sadhus, but we do have Bhakti Vedanta manner sadhus over here. So I seek blessings from each one of you that I may be able to speak something relevant for your divine pleasure and for my own purification. So many of you are so senior to me. Please bless me. So in this verse, Narada Muni has been talked about. How important a personality Narada Muni is can be understood from the fact that Krishna says in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Ashwatha sarva vrikshanam devarshinam cha naradaha. Of the sages among demigods, Krishna is saying, I am Narada Muni. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining the meaning of the word Narada. Narada means one who can give Narayan, who can give Krishna, who can give God. So Prabhupada is explaining that God is not a commodity. God cannot be achieved. When I came to Krishna consciousness, in the beginning days for me, it was very tough to digest this fact. Why? Because for me, since childhood, I had been taught that life is all about achievement. In life, you need to achieve, achieve, achieve. At school, I was told that I have to achieve good grades. At high school, I was told that I have to achieve IIT. High school was all about cracking the IIT entrance exam. And at IIT, the next milestone was to land a job at Google. Then at Google, the chase continued. Google Cloud, Google Chrome, Google Photos, Google Search, Google this, Google that. So this ambitious mindset had become a way of life for me. And all this drama started back in school, In school, I had two close friends who were big-time performers. They had achieved a lot very early in life. So because of their association, I also developed a similar mindset. Three of us used to dream that we'll enter into the gates of IIT together, and from there we'll go into some prestigious company. We'll have this much salary, and we were serious about it. So this achiever mindset, when I came to Krishna consciousness, I brought that mindset here also. And when I was told that the goal of life is love of Godhead, so my immediate question was, all right, so we need to achieve love of Godhead. What do we need to do for that? I need to chant 16 rounds, all right, done. I need to read some Shastra, okay, Prabhuji, I can do that as well. I need to follow this, all right, done. But it was later that I was corrected, Prabhu, this is not the right mindset. You cannot strategize your way into Krishna's heart like that. In spiritual life, you cannot script your success. In spiritual life, you cannot plan your success like that. You need to hold on to your plans lightly and hold on to Krishna tightly. You cannot achieve Krishna. You need to receive. You need to receive His grace. You need to receive His mercy. And for that, service attitude, that is what is needed. So this is what Prabhupada writes in the purport, that Narada Muni gives service of Krishna, right? And Srila Prabhupada also used to say that Narada Muni is a transcendental spaceman. So when I say that, please don't think that he was spaced out. He was not spaced out. Rather, he was spaced in. Spaced in by chanting the holy names. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he writes in his book Gitavali, Narada Muni vajaye veena, Radhika Ramana name. Narada Muni was constantly absorbed in chanting the holy names. He was always glorifying Krishna. And this is what we also need to do. We also need to take to this process of chanting Hare Krishna. This process of chanting Hare Krishna is something like signing a petition to Krishna. It's like requesting Krishna, oh, please accept me, please engage me in your service. And if by chance our petition gets rejected, what do? We sign a second petition, another petition, oh Krishna, please accept me, please engage me in your service. And if the second petition also gets rejected, what do? Sign a third petition. Till when will Krishna reject? Krishna is also a person, right? One day he'll have to accept. Therefore, it is said that the repetition of the holy name is a repetition to Krishna. So, if we are getting an opportunity to chant Hare Krishna, we should not take it lightly. Some people think that by chanting Hare Krishna, we'll get Krishna's mercy. Some people think like that, and that might be true as well. But the very fact that we are able to chant Hare Krishna, it means that we have already obtained His mercy. The more we chant, the more blessings, the more mercy we have. I'm not saying this. This is what the third canto says. Two back-to-back verses come. Yannamadheye shravananu kirtanad yat prahavanad yat smaranad api kvachit shvadopi sadya savanaya kalpate kutaha punaste bhagavannu darshanad. And the next verse. Aho bata shva pacho ato gariyan yajji havagre vartate namatubhyam tepus tapaste juhu sasnararya brahmanuchur nama grinanti yete. If somebody is chanting Hare Krishna, means that fellow has already performed all sorts of sacrifices in the past. He has taken a dip in all the holy rivers and he has read all the Shastras. So, this is what Narada Muni always used to do, always chanting the holy names. And he didn't only do it by himself, he also traveled around to engage others in this process. Right? He was a preacher. Narada Muni was such an amazing preacher that once he had preached to a person before he had taken birth. Before his birth, who was that person? Prahlad Maharaj, right? So Narada Muni had such tough targets for his preaching, He had preached to King Prachina Bharishad. He had preached to King Chitraketu. He had preached to Brigari, the hunter. He had preached to the Ratnakar Daku. He was a dacoit who later on transformed into Valmiki Muni because of the preaching of Narada Muni. He wrote the great epic Ramayana. So yes. And when Narada Muni used to do this preaching, many wonderful qualities of his came out. They were reflected, they were exhibited. Like during his preaching to the 11,000 sons of Daksha Prajapati in the 6th canto, when Narada Muni had transformed the 11,000 sons of Daksha into devotees, Daksha, he was furious. He was so upset that he spoke many verses insulting Narada, back to back. Like in one verse he said, Tantu krintana yannastvam abhadram acharah punaha tasma lokeshu te mudha na bhaved bhamatah padam. He said, oh Narada, you are a mischief monger. Tantu krintana yannastvam. You are a troublemaker because you have separated me from my sons. Abhadram acharah punaha. When you acted in this abhadra way for the first time, when you had converted my 10,000 Haryashvas into devotees, I did not say a word. I maintained my silence. But Achara punaha, again you have acted in this inauspicious way. I had raised 1,000 sons more, the Shavalashvas. But what you have done, you have sent them also to the forest. You are a Mudha. Mudha is a heavy term. Srila Prabhupada translates Mudha as rascal. So you cannot use this term for Narada Muni. You just cannot do that. But Daksha, he was so upset that he said, "Oh Narada, because you have brought about so much distress to me, because you have ruined my place of residence. I curse you to not have residence anywhere in the entire creation." Heavy. But when Narada heard this, what was his reaction? Prati jagraha tadbadam Naradaha sadhu sammatah etavan sadhu adohi titikshete swayam. Although Narad Muni was Ishvara Swayam, although he was fully potent to counter curse Daksha Prajapati, he could have cursed Daksha in such ways that we people cannot even imagine. That was his strength. Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki. So although Narad Muni was fully potent to counter curse Daksha, what did he say? He said, Tad Badam, means so be it. In other words, Narada happily accepted all that Daksha Prajapati had said. In other words, Narada tolerated all of those insults. Why? Why did Narad Muni do that? Because Narada knew that tolerance is one such quality by which we can capture Krishna within our hearts. He knew that those who tolerate the world for Krishna inherit the world of Krishna. He knew that it might not be a merit to be tolerant. If we are tolerating a provoking situation, we might not be given an award. It might not be a merit to be tolerant, but it is definitely an offense to be intolerant. If we are intolerant, what we'll do? We'll take revenge, right? And revenge leads to fights. Revenge leads to guilt. Revenge leads to embarrassment. Revenge leads to pain and regret. But tolerance helps one forgive and forget. Srila Prabhupada writes in the 89th chapter of Krishna book, the greatness of a man is known by his ability to tolerate provoking situations. How do we behave in provoking situations determines who we are, determines how great we are. The famous author Helen Keller, she used to say that the highest result of education is tolerance. So if somebody is educated, he'll know the value of tolerance. A few years back, one devotee, he was serving as the president of ISKCON Meera Road. Meera Road is a place in India. So this temple president was frustrated. He was facing so many issues that he was fried out. So when his spiritual master came to the temple, he had a meeting with him. He said, Maharaj, I need your help. There are so many issues. This is the list of problems, and these are the proposed solutions. Please help me out. Please do something. So the spiritual master, he heard him, but he said that for now, just keep this aside. Just put this list aside. And you know what? For all of your problems, for all of these issues which you have mentioned, I have a one-line solution. A one-line solution. What to talk of one line? I have a one-word solution. So this devotee, he became excited. He said, yes, Maharaj, what's that? So the spiritual master replied, the solution is tolerate. So the disciple said, all right, Maharaj, I'll tolerate, but I have a question. The question is, for how long? Till when should I tolerate? So the spiritual master said, I have been tolerating since last 40 years. You also tolerate? So this devotee said, all right, Maharaj, I'll tolerate, but in any other ISKCON temple, not at Mira Road. Please, send me somewhere else. So the spiritual master replied, my dear boy, I beg you to stay at Mira Road. Please stay here. And that was the end of the conversation. Now you might be surprised. Why? Why did the conversation end over there? Because this devotee thought that I am such a pathetic disciple that I brought down my spiritual master to the point of begging in front of me. I am the disciple. I should be begging in front of him. This is not happening. I cannot do this. All right, Maharaj, I'll stay here. I'll carry on with my services. And he continued. But a few years later, because of his commitment, a few years later, because of his dedication, in the year 2025, this devotee was awarded with sannyas initiation. And his name was, his own is Bhakti Padma Saurabha Pracharak Swami. Maharaj was here last Saturday, right? He gave a class. So this is the power of tolerance, There's a reason why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Jitatmanaha prashantasya paramatma samahitaha shitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayo. Sometimes you'll receive man, sometimes you'll receive apman. What you need to do? Be equipoised. Be equipoised. And this is a verse from 6th chapter. Krishna repeats the exact same sentence in the 12th chapter. He says, Samaha shatraucha mitrecha tatha manapamanayo. The exact same line. Why? And the very next verse, similar instruction. Tulya ninda sutir mauni santushto yena kenachit aniketa sthiramatir bhaktiman me priyo naraha. O Arjuna, whether you are receiving ninda or whether you are receiving stuti. Ninda means defamation. Stuti means glorification. In both the situations, please be tulya. Tulya means equipoised. Why is Krishna repeating the same thing over and over again? Why is Krishna doing this? Is he running out of content? Is Krishna running out of content? No. Krishna is not running out of content. He is trying to drive the point home. He is trying to tell how important tolerance is. He is trying to tell that there will always be people who will dislike you. There will always be people who will be envious of you. There will always be people who will hate you. So what we need to do is tolerate. What we need to do is be indifferent. What we need to do is be carefree. Haters are gonna hate. Roti is gonna rotate. Potatoes gonna potate. Who cares? Who cares? Why do we need to care? I'm not saying this. This is what the 11th canto says. Ishvare tad adhineshu balisheshu dushatsucha prema maitri kripa upeksha. If somebody is dushatsu, if somebody is envious, if somebody is hating us without a reason, what we need to do? Upeksha. Just ignore that guy. Just chill out. Just relax. Just take a chill pill, So no need to fight back in return. If somebody is making fun of us, no need to make fun of that person back in return. If somebody is insulting us, no need to insult that person back in return. Especially if that person is a devotee. Especially if that person is a Vaishnava. Why? Because if we make fun of Vaishnavas, very soon, our life will become very funny. Very soon, our life will become very, very funny. If we insult Vaishnavas, very soon our life will become a comedy we never asked for. So, we are not here to fight. We are here to cooperate. We are not here to see through each other. We are not here for all this. We are not here to see through each other. We are here to see each other through. Through what? Through the challenges of life, through the path of bhakti, and ultimately through to the spiritual world. So, if somebody is crossing Maryada, no need to cross the Maryada back in return. We should always abide by Maryada. If we do so, then Krishna will be very pleased. Yadyapiyo tumiho jagata pavana tomasparshe pavitraha yadeva munigana tathapi bhakta swabhava maryada rakshana maryada palana haya sadhura bhushana maryada langhane loka kare upahas iha loka paraloka dui haya nash maryada rakhile tushta kaile mora mana tumi aiche na karile kare kona jana. These verses are being spoken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He is telling, Maryada rakhile tushta kaile mora mana. O Sanatan, simply because you have abided by Maryada, simply because you have not transgressed the Maryada, what you have done? Tushta kaile mora mana. You have pleased my heart. Just imagine. Such passwords have been given in the pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Kaviraj Goswami. What can please the heart of Lord Chaitanya? It's there. One of the ways is by abiding by Maryada, by tolerating. When our saffron ceremony was announced, I was super confused why I was approached, because 4 of us were reached out. So I was so confused why this proposal came to me. So other 3 devotees from Manna who were taking saffron, they had spent almost 2 years each in the ashram. And I had been here only for 3 months. And my idea was that I have seen my seniors at Manna in this color. I have seen Kesha Maharaj in saffron. I have seen Param Karuna Prabhu in saffron. I have seen Ananta Gopal Prabhu, I have seen Antaranga Prabhu and many other seniors in this color. I have seen my spiritual master wear this color. I have seen Srila Prabhupada's deity wear this color. Who am I in front of them? So I was very hesitant in the beginning, but because of 2-3 reasons, I said yes. So later I made a phone call to one of my superiors and I said, Prabhuji, this proposal came and I accepted it. But I'm very hesitant about it. I'm very low on confidence. So I need your blessings. Any instructions? So he said, yes. He said, Prabhu, for whatever duration of time you plan to stay in these robes, whether it's for a few days or for a few months or for a few years, be prepared to see anything and be prepared to hear anything. In other words, be prepared to tolerate anything, right? So tolerance is one such quality by which we can obtain the lotus feet of Krishna. I'm not saying this. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami writes, Prabhu Agyaya Kare ei shloka acharana Avashya paibe tabe Shri Krishna charana. Those devotees who abide by this Trinadapi shloka, Trinadapi sunichena taroriva sahishnana. In this verse, tolerance has been talked about, right? So Kaviraj Goswami is giving the blessing that those who abide by, those who live their lives by this verse, what happens to them? Avashya paibe tabe Shri Krishna charana. Without a doubt, they end up obtaining the lotus feet of Krishna. So yes, so if we tolerate, then we can be victorious. So yeah, this is what Narada Muni practiced. And Narada Muni, when he came in Sri Chaitanya Leela, he came as Srivas Thakur, right? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes that Srivas Thakur was the leader of all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Srivas Adiyata Koti Koti Bhakta Gana Shuddha Bhakta Tattva Madhye Tasabara Garnana. All the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, they were headed by Srivas Thakur. Right? And in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is described that this Srivas Thakur had a very wonderful character. His character was very wonderful. His character was so pure, so spotlessly pure, so absolutely pure, that when Davan Das Thakur writes that the three worlds can be purified simply by remembering him. Ki kahiba Srivasera udara charitra Tribhuvana haya yara smarane pavitra. Ki kahiba Srivasera udara charitra. What can I speak about the glorious character of Srivas? Tribhuvana haya yara smarane pavitra. Simply by remembering him, the three worlds can be purified. So yes, how dear Srivas Thakur was to Lord Chaitanya can be understood from the fact that he was a member of Panchatattva, right? So he was extremely dear, extremely dear. He was so dear that during the Mahaprakash Leela, during the 21-hour pastime during which Lord Chaitanya's Abhishek was going on, what to talk of Srivas Thakur himself? What to talk of the family members of Srivas Thakur? Even the servants, even the Das and the Dasi of Srivas. Srivasera Dasa Dasi Gane Ane Jala Prabhu Snana Kare Bhakta Seva Rei Phala. Even the Das and the Dasis in the house of Srivas, even the servants and maid servants in his house, got an opportunity to do his Abhishek, to bathe Lord Chaitanya. Just imagine, not an ordinary thing. So, if we people get this opportunity, an opportunity to serve the Lord, to serve the deities, to do their Abhishek, to offer the swing service, this Jhulan Yatra which is happening, this is not a small thing. This is a very high thing. Very high thing. This is something which happens in the spiritual world, that too on the banks of Radha Kunda. Radha Kunde Sumelana Vikaradi Vibhushana Vamyot Kantha Mugdha Bhavalila Sambhoga Narmadi Riti Dola Khela Vamshi Hriti. Dola Khela means the swing pastimes. So these swing pastimes, where do they take place? On the banks of Radha Kunda. Just imagine. And who does this swing service? The gopis of Vrindavan, the damsels of Raja. So if we people are getting this opportunity, we should not take it lightly. We should not take it for granted. It is a very high thing. It's a great fortune if we are getting this service. Now someone might say, Prabhuji, you are swinging the idols. You are swinging a statue made up of metal. Bring actual Radha Krishna. That will be glorious. That will be wonderful. This is an idol. So if somebody thinks like this, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita says, my dear sir, you are mistaken. Pratima naha tumi sakshat Vrajendra Nandana vipralagi kara tumi akarya karana. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is writing, please don't think that this is Pratima. This is not Pratima. Radha Gokulananda, they are not an idol. They are Sakshat Vrajendra Nandan and daughter of Vrishabhanu. Just like if somebody has a 20-pound note. Anyone having here? Okay, let's do it. Anyone having a 20-pound note? I'll give it back to you, don't you worry. Nobody? Okay, one Mataji. Oh, Manju Mataji. Very wonderful. Yes, can I have it, please? Yeah, can someone pass? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a thin sheet, and this is also a thin sheet. Very similar, right? Very similar. But is there a difference? Yes. Let's take this one first. If I make a lump out of it, nobody got affected. Nobody's face reaction changed. Even if I throw this, nobody got affected. But now let's do something similar to this. One person will be affected, right? So, why? Can you pass it back? So one person will be affected. Why will Manju Mataji be affected? Because it has value. It is authorized by the UK government, right? So it is no longer an ordinary thin sheet. So similarly, when an idol made up of iron or metal or stone is transformed by the process of prana pratishtha, it no longer remains an idol. It becomes a deity because the Supreme Lord, Radha and Krishna, themselves come and reside in that deity. So yes, that was mostly it from me. So before we go to question answers, I seek blessings from each one of you. I spoke on a bit heavy things. It is easy to speak all this, tough to follow. Please bless me that I myself may never transgress the Maryada. I myself may be a very good servant of Bhaktivedanta manner sadhus, and myself may never make fun of Vaishnavas, never insult them, always be in a service attitude.